Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. And today I want to talk about something I've noticed recently. I have been reading a few books that are written by Nigerian writers or writers who grew up in Nigeria or of Nigerian descent. And I've also been seeing a lot of books on Bookstagram and YouTube by Nigerian writers, and it made me really excited because I love finding literature from all over the world, but especially when I see something really exciting coming out of particular parts of the world. And it seems to me like there's a kind of flourishing of Nigerian literature that is coming out now and in recent years. And I want to highlight some of those books that I've been reading and some of the ones that are on my TBR. So let's get started with books that I've already read that are written by Nigerian writers. So the most recent one was What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky by Lesley, Nneka, Arimah. This is a short story collection, and every short story deals with some kind of relationship. For the most part, it deals with the parent-child relationship and the complications of those relationships. I talked about this book recently in my wrap-up, and I think what I said there still stands very true. It is a beautifully, gorgeously written short story collection. There's something in the writing that just, even if you don't care that much about, that technical aspect of writing, you can still see how beautiful it is. I don't really have the vocabulary to analyze and explain the beauty in the writing, but it just stood out to me a lot. One thing that I can talk about is the ways in which the complications of the parent-child relationship are explored in each short story, and it's explored in such a way that I think it's very, very relatable, whether you have a good relationship with parents and parental figures in your life or you don't. It's also, I guess, I'm not a parent, but so I primarily approached it from the point of view of, an adult person who I think has gotten to understand her parents a lot better than, for sure, but I understand them a lot better than I did when I was younger, and can appreciate the difficulty, but also from the perspective of, in some ways I feel like my parents, I didn't always get what I wanted from my parents as a child. And so that brings with it so many different complications. And yeah, anyways, this is just a really amazing read, and I highly recommend it to everyone. The next book that I recently read that is written by a Nigerian author was Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor. I love Okorafor's writing. I just everything I've read from them is just magnificent in some way or another. And Who Fears Death is a long story, but it's filled with layers and layers of meaning, and that I just really, really enjoyed. You're following a female character in a post-apocalyptic Africa, and she lives in a very safe area of town, but she's trying to figure out who she is, where she belongs in society, because she has much lighter skin, and it is very clear to everybody in her community that she's the product of rape, that her mother was raped by a kind of colonizer class that endangers her people. And so as the product of rape, she doesn't really fit in, and she's pretty desperate for that fitting in, not for herself, but for her mother and for the man who played a large part in raising her. And I found it really beautiful. There's a lot of magic and stories involved in it. There's travel, and it's just, I really, really enjoyed this book. And again, do recommend it if you're into these kind of post-apocalyptic fantasy stories. the next book I read a year or two ago, and it is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. And this is a fantastic book. First of all, it's short, so it's really fast read, and the title tells you what it's about. It's about two sisters. One of them is a serial killer, and the other one kind of has to deal with her sister doing this. And it's fantastic. As someone who has sisters, I just really enjoyed reading this book for the sister relationships and what it means and what you are willing to do for family. It's amazing. I highly recommend My Sister the Serial Killer. So on to some of the books that are on my TBR. They're on my radar. Some of these I own now from Nigerian authors. The first is The Death of Vivian Oke and Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. I have read their book Freshwater and loved it. It's a powerful, at times really dark book, and Pet looks really, really good. I've heard really good things about it too. It's about a child who lives in a world in which monsters no longer exist except they see them. and it looks like it's allegorical and really good. The Death of Vivian Oke, I don't know too much about it, except that I just bought it when I heard that Emezi had written it, and I'm really looking forward to it. Another book by a Nigerian author is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernadine Evaristo. So this one, Nnedi over at Brown Go Reading recently did a review of this book, and a bunch of people read it for the BookTube prize, and just everything I hear about this makes me want to read this book, so check it out if you're interested. And then further down on my TBR is Americanah by Chimamanda Ngozi Adiche. So I haven't read anything by them, and this particular book has come up, has highly recommended, and so it's going to be on my TBR. I'm thinking it might be easier to read something like this as an audiobook, but I'm just interested in all these explorations of society, especially of American society and Nigerian society. I love the way these writers that are part now of the Nigerian diaspora all over the world write, and it's correct me if I'm wrong, but I sense a real flourishing, and I don't know if it's just flourishing of literature from Nigeria or if it's that publishers are finally paying some attention, right? That once the door's been opened and someone proves that Nigerian literature is marketable and that people will buy it, then the doors open, and that's what we're seeing now. But I'm here for it, and I'm here for more of it. I want to see writers from every country getting a chance to publish their stories, and because I want a chance to read them. So that is it for me. Let me know down below if you have any other books written by Nigerian authors that I think I need to check out, because I would love to expand my TBR here. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.